And here we are, Build a Rocking Chair, episode 14, Rabbet, the seat joints. For this operation, so we're going to be cutting a 1/2 inch rabbet along this face and this face on the front and the back notches of our seat. To do that, to start, I've clamped the seat here in my vise. I measured over 1/2 inch from the inside edge, drew a line, did the same thing on this side. You'll notice I've also got a block clamped here, and that's to help prevent tear out. If we get tear out on this front notch, that's going to show once this the leg is attached and whatnot. The very tiniest bit of tear out, we may be able to sculpt away, but we want to try to avoid that at all costs. And I'm going to show you a technique that will help with that, in addition to using this block. So we'll have that problem here, and then on this one, we'll have that problem again here. And again, I measured back a 1/2 inch and drew a line. I didn't do it on the bottom. Okay, in order to facilitate the 1/2 inch deep rabbet around our seat joints, we've got to get a hold of a bit, right? The bit that you want, it's a 1/2 inch rabbet that is exactly 1.5 inches in diameter. Exactly. No, I had a 1/2 inch rabbeting bit in my collection, but it was 1 3/8 inches. The reason that we need that 1.5 inches has to do with the transition. We're going to be utilizing a 3/4 inch roundover bit on our legs, and this size and diameter matches perfectly with that roundover coming into it. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts. 1/2 inch rabbet, 1.5 inch diameter, and that is available from Whiteside with a 1/2 inch shank, 1/2 inch cutting length, 1/2 inch cutting depth, 1.5 inch diameter. It's part number 1922. Whiteside part number 1922. That's the bit that you want. All right, and it comes with the bearing, ready to go. Now you'll notice the other thing that I did is I replaced the traditional 6-inch base plate with this larger piece of plexiglass. The reason that I did that, and this is just 1/4 inch plexi that I picked up at the box store, and the reason that I did that is I'm going to be utilizing the router this way. All right, you can do it the traditional way, but it's much easier to see what you're doing this direction. Okay, the reason that I extended this is since this is sitting flat on the seat surface, this is a heavy router and it wants to tilt. Well, having this added extension down here kind of provides a counterbalance or a leverage point, right? It helps me maintain perfectly square to the surface by blocking the tilt, right? So that's two things. So you got your router bit, and then just make you up one of these. These are real easy to make. And then, of course, make sure it's flat and it screws down nice and tight. The other advantage to having this, the clear plexiglass, and I have several of these that I've made, is you can see through it. So if you're, you're working through the black plastic ones that came with this, unless you can see down through the hole, it's hard to see what you're doing. And I like to see what I'm doing. Okay, next. Let's look at the approach. All right, so I'm working on the opposite side here. So our blade rotation is clockwise, right? But so this edge, as we approach it, is prone to tear out. So what we're going to do is just creep up on it incrementally, really, really light, making some really small clockwise motion with the router and just nibble, 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 nibble until we get to our line. All right, and then the same thing as I approach the bottom corner here, I'm just going to nibble at it. And eventually I'll get all the way to the bottom of this corner and to my top line, my 1/2 inch line, nice and clean. Once I get somewhere in there, you're probably around the middle, I'll start to work over here on the right hand side. No worries of chip out or break out over here, tear out. And but I'm still just going to nibble at it. Right, that's a really big bit. And I'll work my way until I get close to the bottom, and then I'll go all the way, pretty close to all the way through. This is cherry, so in doing this, I'm nibbling my way to the bottom to where I make contact with the bearing. And the reason I'm doing it that way is so that I don't burn it. Kind of like tear out. If we burn this wood down here in this joint, it's probably going to be visible. So just by taking little bitty bites, little bitty bites, little bitty bites, and continuing to move, I greatly reduce the possibility of tear out and burning. Little bites. All right. The same thing is going to apply on the back end, though not as important. The back end, there's more meat, there's more coverage of the in the leg joint. So if you get a little bit of tear out there, or you get a little burn, it's not going to be the end of the world on the back end. But the front end, it's pretty critical. So we got to be careful. All right, so let's get her done. Okay, so worked out pretty well, nice and clean. My block here, let's see what we got. All right, this block is optional, right? If you're comfortable enough taking those micro cuts to get to your stop point, then fine. I just prefer to have that block on here just to help hold those fibers down so it wouldn't tear out. All right, there's no burn. Um, Everything worked out real well. Just as long as you keep it moving or out of contact, right? Keep it moving in this clockwise fashion, and just take these little, I'll call them micro bites, and just keep it moving. If you hesitate, especially down here in the corner, transition from the bottom up, it's going to burn on you. All right, so you want to be conscious and careful of that. All right, so I got to do the same thing on the other side, and then I still got to cut these down here on the end. The last thing I'll mention here when doing this is I was doing everything clockwise, right? Do not, under any circumstances, try to do a climb cut. That is just begging for trouble, both in your material and router operation. Climb cut, that sucker's going to grab, and yeah, really bad things can happen. No climb cutting. So I managed to successfully get all 4 of these accomplished. I ended up with some tear out. You can't see it on this one. It's on the other one. Some tear out on the front one on the other side, which is unfortunate. Hopefully not very unfortunate. We'll see if I can figure out how to repair that should the need arise in the future. One last note here. So the thickness of my seat is right at 2 inches. If yours is not, it's not the end of the world. But it does affect your rabbet or the depth of your rabbet. All right. So the easiest way, if you're less than 2 inches or you're more than 2 inches, simply divide the width or the thickness. Divide the thickness of your seat by 4 and set your rabbet cutting depth accordingly. All right, make sense? So that you're cutting out 1/4 of the depth on each side, leaving you with that times 2 in the middle. So thickness divided by 4. Good to go. All right, so that takes care of the rabbets. Let's see what's next. See you down the road.